Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back, hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090. Pete Gray here, Rock Cod Rick Mexa in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here, right next to the San Diego Landings in Point Loma. What a guy. Captain Jim Hughes from the Cortez out of C4 Sport Fishing is here, and what a prize he brought for a lucky texter or a lucky caller this morning.
You're not kidding. It's just been a great show already. Another full hour, lots of fun, lots of your phone calls and your text messages, and man, Pete, like you said, such a killer prize. If you didn't hear at the beginning of the show, somebody at the end of Let's Talk Hookup today is going to go fishing on a day-and-a-half trip on board the Cortez and going to get to bring a guest. It's a trip for 2 on any open party trip, or if there happens to be an open date on a charter that you can slide in on, that too. It's just a great opportunity to fish on a fantastic boat with a great crew and Captain Jim here. It's going to be a really, really fun one. If you want to get your chance at prize, or much better yet, just your opportunity to talk to Jim, have your questions answered, you can give us a call this morning at 213-432-1090. Again, 213-432-1090. Or you can send us a text. The text is only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. Make sure you download the app. And then when you send a text through, make sure you include your contact info. It's not like sending a normal text message to your buddy's phone. It's a one-way system, so you need to include your phone number in that text so that we can call you back and get your info if you're the lucky winner of that big prize at the end of the show today.
And like our new method here for that we kicked off last week, Captain Mark Taylor, in 2022, is we have a coin, big coin.
It is.
Jim's going to flip that coin. On one side it says T, one side it says C, and we pick 2 names at the end of the show, and whatever comes up when Jim flips the coin, that's the winner.
Perfect.
It's going to be a fun deal, so you want to be sure to be part of that, and it gives everybody a chance.
I
think
it.
It's a great new deal, and texting has become such a popular deal to get more questions in, more interesting stuff, so we're happy to get that involved in the show this time. All right, let's find out what's biting, Rick.
You got it, man. It's time for that catch report, and today our FishDope.com report is sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Not only do they offer the best processing for your fish when your trip returns to the San Diego Landings, as well as your private boat catch, now with Fish Pros The Market, you can purchase fresh fish. They have smoked and jerkied fish available, their spices, rubs, smoked cheese, the famous tuna burgers, and that amazing poke kit. Stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street, or call for details, or order online at fishermansprocessing.com. So much killer stuff at that Fish Pros The Market.
Yeah.
It just blows me away. And the new retail space is so good. If you haven't been to the new location, you need to go check it out because it's laid out so well, and there is so much cool stuff available.
A lot of good product.
Yeah, it's awesome. Love it.
Smoked cheese, the smoked fish, everything about it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I dig it. Hey, with that said, we're going to find out what's biting. Our FishDope.com reporter standing by, Captain Mark Wish, our private boater buddy. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, Pete and Jim.
Morning, Mark.
So, here we go, guys. You know, it's always fun at the start of a new season like we got here, you know, with expectations sky high, and then we watch it come together over the next few months. And I just got to tell you, I'm just so fortunate to be able to deliver these reports here every Saturday to you guys. So I think we're going to have another good year and just nonstop action. So we'll see how it all shakes out.
Like sounds of that, buddy.
It's just starting good already with what's going on down the beach there. But so first things first, guys, a couple housekeeping items. Do not forget your 2022 fishing license. They are out hot and heavy, checking such things out. And it's definitely worth your while to have your license. Fines are big. And the other thing is rockfish, lingcod, whitefish, sheepheads, all that bottom junk for the most part, except for sculpins. It's all closed here for the next couple months. So those poor sculpins are really going to get pounded because that's about all there is to catch in that department. But, you know, we've had some rugged weather over the holidays here in the end of the season for sure. It's impacted the squid fleet being able to look around. But, you know, the signs are good. You know, when they were able to get out, there's quite a bit of bait, or probably was, and mopped it up. but baited SBI and then bait on the Osborne Bank proper. And then there's been a steady show on and off course, but up there at the county line and then the upper Channel Islands. So we got quite a bit of bait around. We don't know too much about Catalina or Clemente right now, but with the better weather, we're going to be finding that out. But there's definitely been some bait, but no game fish on it yet, but that's not surprising just because of the time of year. So our brightest spot in terms of actually catching something is famous Catalina Island. Remember, Rockfish is closed, but there's quite a bit of bonita moving around the east end front, and then east end proper, and then up the back a little bit there. And also biting over there at the island are those beautiful halibuts, and nobody really fishes much. You know, they get overshadowed by everything else going on, but the halibut fishing over there, it's like the last couple of years, it's been really good. It's shallow, backside east. Guys fishing with sardines are getting some nice ones, 10 to 30 feet kind of shallow. And there's also been some local halibuts here, but it seems to be deeper, 90 to 120 feet. And then, of course, offshore, Tanner, it was holding up really good, and then we had some serious weather for quite a stretch there, so it'll be interested to see if anything is still out there biting. Imagine some guys to look at this weekend, but the bigger news, of course, is what's going on down the beach there. We're going to be hearing lots and lots about that over the next few months. It's all great news. So, Pete, I got a little sidebar story for you.
Okay.
This was great. So I was in the Kaiser Orthopedics department there, having them look at my wrist on Monday, and we get to talking to the doctor, super nice guy. And he asked me what I do for a living. I tell him about fishing and boating and this and that. And long story short, it turns out their whole little posse there in the orthopedics department, a lot of them are fishermen. They listen to Let's Talk Hookup voraciously and were nothing but complimentary about the show and the reports and everything that they've learned. And it was just kind of funny to have an actual doctor call me back in the afternoon after my appointment to tell me about all the things he found out about the other orthopedic guys, how much they love listening to Let's Talk.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's great news. And now you have that in, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I hope they fix his wrist issue I've got here.
Yeah.
So, my
sure
doctor
get special care.
Well, the one doctor told my doctor, which is Dr. Lee, and this other guy, I guess, is Dr. Park. He said, well, you got to find something wrong with him, so he keeps coming back and tells us good stuff. So.
There you go. Well, that's a big shout out to those guys over there, and thanks for listening to Let's Talk Hookup. And Mark, of course, fishdope.com gives all the information there. $20 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code HOOKUPNOW, lowercase, no space. You got to have fishdope.com. It is the way to stay in touch 365 days a year of what's going out on the water, because you get those reports from guys like Mark Wish and all the guys out there. They give it to them, and they give it up on fishdope.com. And Mark, how do we find you?
Well, Pete, we're in Huntington Beach. We're on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger. And phone number at the store is area code 714-840-4262. And the website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And, we're going to be able to broaden these reports out because our main fish dope guy, Danny, right now, he's getting on an airplane right now to go to Florida for the next 3 weeks and hang out there. So we're gonna, find out about tarpons. And, yeah,
there you go. All right, yeah, he's leaving us in good hands with Jeff and all the other guys at Fish Dope here, and then he will get the Florida report too. Hey, Mark, always great to hear you. Thanks a lot for the report, and we will talk to you next Saturday.
Right on. I bet Ricky's going to have the headline news for next Saturday.
I'm thinking. I mean, if I was, we were throwing out the big bet. It's going to happen, Ricky.
For Dallas' sake, I hope so.
Yeah,
she's ready.
Yeah.
We wish you guys all the best, man. That's
Thanks,
how
buddy.
exciting for you.
Thanks.
All right,
Appreciate
we'll talk
that
to you guys
very much.
next week.
All right, talk to you next week. Hey, while we're waiting for that guy on the radio over at Seaforth, you know that guy, Markos?
I know him.
Yeah,
I know that guy.
I want to mention that we just found out that there are 2 spots opened up on our Katmai Lodge 7-day trip in July, huh? It's been sold out for a long time, the 7-day. If you want to go on that 7-day trip, 2 spots just opened up. It's in mid-July, absolute prime time for sockeye and chum and great rainbow fishing and a lot more. Just go to katmai.com, give Charmel a call there in the office, and go to katmai.com and grab those 2 spots to go up to Katmai Lodge. And another thing I want to mention too is be sure to check out this week's edition of Western Outdoor News. Always loaded with great stuff, like Mark was talking about. Big halibut, man, right on the front cover there. Lots of big halibut around. If you got the patience, that's a good thing to do right now. And also, don't forget big bluefin, too. There's a lot of big bluefin. And then a really interesting article on catching sculpin, too, which is kind of the thing to do right now while the rockfish season over, how to be careful with the rattlesnake of the sea and use that cautiously and certainly make some great fish.
I was going to say, one of the most tasty things that comes out of the ocean, fresh sculpin. You can't beat it. It's so good.
Yeah, so be sure to check out this week's edition of Western Outdoor News.
All right. Well, hey, while we're waiting for Markos, I had a great text message come through for Jim. This is from our buddy Corey. Says, I'd like to know Jim's opinion. If you had to pick one jig to fish for bluefin at nighttime, what would it be? Assuming the fish have been around 250 to 300 feet. What kind of jig do you like?
I guess last year it would have been the flat fall by far. Mm-hmm. This year it's going to be that knife jig.
Knife jig.
Yeah, I think they called it a Katy Perry.
Okay.
I think that's what they
called it. Pink and blue?
Yeah, it was pink, blue, had a little bit of feathers on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That thing
got licked.
They were licking it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And you're fishing it with 200-pound leader.
Yep.
Yeah. Heavy-duty hooks?
Heavy-duty hooks.
Minimum 100-pound test on your line,
and
right?
putting hooks up on top.
Up on top.
Oh yeah, also yeah.
You like hooks on top and on bottom?
On top and on bottom.
Mm-hmm. Bring it, huh?
Yep, bring it.
And you like the assist style hooks? You like a big J hook? Like what do you see and what do you like? Does it make a difference?
We've been putting on 8.0 and the 10.0 Super Muto hooks, and we've been wiring them on.
Ooh.
Really?
We're gonna crimp and wire on.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
like single strand wire or multi-strand?
Multi-strand.
Multi-strand.
And we've been crimping that on, and on top we've been tying like 200-pound crimping on like 200-pound mono.
Okay.
On top.
Wow.
It's been working.
Yeah.
That's what they like this year. But again, that's what everybody was fishing.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a reason the zucchini always gets bit in albacore season.
That's right.
Black and purple marauder gets bit when you're trolling for wahoo.
That's right.
But in 2022, who knows? Okay.
That's right.
What was it? 2 years ago that everybody was buying poppers?
Oh yeah.
There were a lot of poppers available this year because they weren't eating the popper as much, right?
3 years ago they were biting the rubber flyer.
Right.
And then they wanted last year. They wanted a live flyer, a dead flyer, a lot, which they did this year also.
Yeah.
And then this last year was this California flyer and 3 or 4 different kinds of new flyers that came out. And those when it got tough, the guys would start trolling around those, just and get bit.
Yeah.
And just whew. I mean, you just don't know.
You can't sit on your hands.
No, you need to be off the envelope.
Be fishing.
Off the envelope.
Which is fun. I mean, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch you, and it's fun to watch the whole fleet. Change and adapt and whatever. Because I mean, you look at that. You look at flat fall fishing, whatever it was 3 years ago when it was all in the dark, and like you guys had that fish so dialed in and so many big ones. And I mean, just that's it. Like this is what you do. This is where you go. This is how you catch them. And the next season. Flip the script.
Yep.
Equally good fishing, catching them completely different ways.
Trying a different way. And there's times where it didn't bite the flat ball at all this year, or the knife jigs. It bit sinker rigs. Mm-hmm. There was times. But them fish, I think Roy said it best. The bluefin bite 3 days and off for a month. 3 days and off for a month. Where they bite good.
Right.
And they'd go 2-3 day slack, or you'd see it. I mean, there was not a problem finding fish anywhere this year. The problem was getting it to bite. Consistently,
Yeah,
so
for sure. Well, let's find out what's biting over at Seaforth. Markos, that guy on the radio, is on the line. Good morning, Markos.
Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing?
What's up, Markos?
Hey, Markos, happy
morning,
New Year
Markos.
to you.
Morning, Jimmy. How are you?
good.
Well, after a little bit of inconsistent just getting out on the boat because of the rain there and then the holidays, things have really kind of, I think we're, do we say the last season ended or did it just keep going because they're still catching fish out there? The New Seaforth fishing those extended half-day trips into Mexico, catching a lot of good bottom fishing there, fishing that deep water rock cut if you guys are interested in that. The Sea-Watch running those local half-day trips, and they've actually had some really good fishing. Earlier in the week, they had 35 sand bass, 18 sculpin, and released a bunch of fish also. So if you don't have a lot of time, you just want to get out there on the boat, those half days are both of them, the extended and the regular, are both doing really well. We have the Pacifica out today. They're out on a day and a half, and we'll see how they do. We're waiting to hear from them. We did hear from the Polaris Supreme this morning. They called in pretty much finishing up the first day. They left yesterday of their 3-day trip, and they had 25 bluefin in that 40 to 80-pound range. So, I mean, they just kind of kept that rolling there, and like I said, took a little short break there and right back to that bluefin fishing. So hopefully the Tribute and the Pacific can pick that up with their trips that they're going to be running here. Definitely check the website, seaforthlanding.com. We have the full schedule up there for those half days, the extended half days, the day and a half. So we have a few longer trips scheduled in there. I mean, if you haven't put away your gear yet, there's no point in doing it now. Just bring it down to the tackle shop, get it cleaned up, and get ready to start over here because it's been some good fishing already.
Well, great, Marco. Certainly some good fishing to be had right now, and glad to hear that that's going good. That local rockfish trip, those have been fun. I mean, there's some great stuff to be had at Seaforth right now, and with some good weather on the horizon, we want to keep the ball rolling. If somebody wants to come join you for local fishing or tuna fishing or everything else that's going on, how do we find you guys?
Check the website, seaforthlanding.com. Definitely take a look at the schedule because we're not running our normal hours here. The Sea Watch is running those later morning departures. They're leaving at 9, returning at 2:30. The new Seaforth on those extended half days, they're fishing Mexican water, so a passport is required for that one, and that one's leaving at 7:30. The weekend trips, next weekend we have the Pacific on a day and a half and the Tribute on 2.5 day. Weekend after that, more day and a half. So lots of options there, seaforthlanding.com. Give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. Come down and visit us in person. If you got a Seaforth gift card, now's a great time to come down and spend that. Check out the tackle shop here, get a burrito next door, and then get out on the boat.
I like it, Markos. Great report. As always, good fishing to be had down at Seaforth, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week.
We'll talk to you then, guys.
All right.
All right.
That's going to wrap up our catch report today. That one's sponsored by Anza Knives, handcrafting knives in the USA for over 3 decades. Check out the Fish Pro series and other custom fillet knives from Anza. They're made from high-carbon steel, which holds a great edge, and it's very easy to sharpen. Anza knives are the finest fillet knives ever produced. Anza also offers knives for military, law enforcement, and hunting. Check AnzaKnives.com for more and get the Fish Pro series available now at Fisherman's Processing.
All right, let's go ahead and jump back on those jam-packed phones, Rick.
Jam-packed they are. This time we're going to talk to Justin. Justin's calling us from Carlsbad this morning. Hi, Justin. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
How you guys doing this morning?
Doing great. Good morning.
Justin?
Morning, Justin.
Hey, I haven't heard much talk about it. Are the Long Beach and Del Mar shows happening this year? And I also heard that a lot of vendors pulled out for the shows this year. Is that true?
Well, Long Beach, the Fred Hall Long Beach show is scheduled for the beginning of March. And it is a go. Yes, it will be a smaller show this year, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. The other show that's coming up in February is the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Festival show. That's coming up in mid-February, so a couple shows coming up there. Right now, it doesn't look like there's going to be a San Diego Del Mar show, I would say. They're saying dates are pending, but my guess is it's probably not going to happen for 2022.
You got it.
Yeah. Hope that helps you out. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right. Hey, we had a fun text come through. This one, do you guys prefer long top shot of mono between the braid and the fluorocarbon for a shock absorber, or do you like a shorter top shot and a rod with a little softer tip with, fishing straight braid to a short piece of fluorocarbon? That's from Derek in Lake Elsinore. Good question, Derek.
I like the mono, the longer mono, longer top shot. Yeah.
Okay.
That for a little bit of shock absorber, it makes a difference. I don't. And a lot of guys say, "Well, I'm going to put 4 or 5 feet." Well, it's just another knot. Mm-hmm. That when you go to cast or you like that, it's going to get hung up. So I like using a longer piece. 50-yard, 75-yard piece.
Okay. So more shock absorber.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. You need it.
Especially when the weather's up, right?
Well, that and them bluefin are head shakers.
Yeah,
they are freaking head shakers.
Yeah.
And they find their way to get off.
Yeah.
So.
And when they shake their head, they can pull the hook, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Big yellowfin, relatively speaking, not every time, of course, but they're kind of nice and flat, circling, and kind of predictable. Like when you can get your eyes on them, they're often fairly predictable until the gaff gets in them and they go on the boat.
Yeah.
Man, those bluefin, not at all.
They don't end all the way to the top.
SOBs, and they go the wrong direction, and they're circling one way, and next thing you know, they do a big oval, and they're pointing the other way, and then all of a sudden they turn upright again, and they're shaking their head again. It stresses me out,
and
man.
you don't know,
God,
and you don't know
stresses
what's
me
going to
out.
happen either. Because I mean, you could have all the perfect gear, everything, all the setup like that, and you're just thinking, what is going on with this fish? You know, and you're checking the drag. Yeah, the drag's good. You know, the guy's winding on it, and I mean, and you just see them, and they're way out, and especially when the one's on the surface, all of a sudden they go down and turn, and go back the other way, and then they start shaking their head, or they go straight up and down and start shaking. And I mean, and they're yanking,
And you're watching the rod
and you're
just drop.
going,
Oh, man.
So when they start shaking their head and they're yanking up and down, and you have too much drag on,
no, it's not too much drag. It's just they're
don't
shaking.
worry about it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, can you like you were saying? Usually when they're down in circle, like in yellowfin, you're pretty predictable. You put it right up.
Yeah.
They're
No.
in the circles.
You keep it just like
you
that.
keep it just. You don't do
Keep
that.
the heat on them.
Keep the heat on 'em.
Yeah, you keep the
know.
heat on them.
If the hook's in there good, it's going to stay
This
there.
is the big thing. A lot of people, I got a big one. I don't want to lose it.
Yeah,
So they're taking it easy.
yeah,
You know, the longer they're staying in the water, the better chance they're going to get off. 2 is when they're doing that circle thing and they come up and they go back the other direction. A lot of times they run right to the boat first. And like I said, I lost it. No wind. Don't stop winding.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times people, I lost it. No, just wind. Keep winding. And that thing comes right to the boat.
yeah.
You know?
It's right
And then-
there.
Yeah, it's right there. And all of a sudden he catches up with it and then it starts yanking again. You know?
Yeah.
You've spent so much time around big fish. You know, all the long range days at all the long range haunts on the Royal Polaris, and then now all this big bluefin at home. What's the difference between the two of them? Fighting wise, gear wise, catching wise.
That, you know,
You mean between a yellowfin and
Yeah,
a
I mean,
bluefin?
Jim's seen countless 200-pound yellowfin and countless 200-pound bluefins.
I think the yellowfin do pull back harder. The bluefin fight differently, especially with that yanking, cranking, head shaking. They go-
Squirreliness.
Squirreliness, yeah. I mean, nighttime, they're both the same.
Oh,
I mean, some of them
Really?
you get right next to the boat, you know, almost kamikaze style. And the yellowfin do the same thing. Daytime, early afternoon, early evening, early in the morning, they're a different animal.
Interesting.
They do everything different.
Wow.
But I think the yellowfin pull back a little bit harder.
All right.
Me and Frank had this argument too about it. I said, well, I don't know how many of them 300-pound bluefin have you caught. Well, now we're starting to catch them.
Yeah.
You know.
I say no doubt. I'm with you. I think yellowfin pulls way harder for sure.
Yeah.
But like we were saying before, that bluefin so unpredictably. Like you're. I swear I'm going to lose every one of those big sons of guns until it's on the boat. Like you just, that yellowfin is just at least somewhat predictable. And it's like, here he comes, and you keep circling. You gain a little bit, gain a little bit, gain a little bit, keep heat on them, and next thing you know, they're on board. Those things shake their head so bad, my stomach's in my throat the whole time you see that rod. It shakes so bad, you know he's coming off.
I compare them bluefin, the bigger bluefin, are like, wow, it's a 50-50 proposition at best anyways. At best. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's jump back on the phone.
Yeah,
Rick.
you got it, buddy. How about this time we talk to Bob? Bob calling us from Dana Point. Good morning, Bob. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. I've fished many trips on the Jerry Brown 18-day limited load in the winter with Rambo up on the bait tank and no deckhand. Separates the good ones from the bad ones as far as bait goes. He makes a point of it. Every bait well that you go to have really lively bait, and we thank you for that. And another thing, I don't know when to put reels in for service. I fished on the Nulo end in December, got double limits of bluefin on a day and 3/4. I put my reels in at 3 and 10s and 2 at Cal Sheets and 1 at Accurate, and the earliest I can get them is 18th of February, guys. So, yeah, we're fishing year-round now, and what do?
Yeah. Well,
This is the time of the year where everybody's getting their reel serviced, and it's almost to the point where I have a lot of reels, so like part of them are in, and the other part I didn't use this year, so I can just rotate stock a little bit,
Yeah.
and for the boat rods and the boat reels. But it's tough right now, and pin parts are brutal right now.
All parts are brutal.
I've had a 50 wide in the Seaford one since August. I can't get the parts for it.
wow.
And parts for all the reels. It just they're out there. I don't know, about 8 miles off of Long Beach.
Yeah, exactly.
But now they've moved them down farther now.
Yeah, now they're down here.
down below the border.
Yeah.
So
Pretty crazy.
yeah.
But with that said, man, so smart of you, Bob, putting your reels in right now. You're right that there's never a good time, especially if you're a guy that fishes as much as Bob does. You know, we said it. There is no end to the season, but you're probably going to be going more in August than you are now. And man, get those things in, because you're right. Parts are difficult. Service is difficult. You know, we got ourselves all the way back to 6 weeks in the peak of the summertime last year. And a guy comes in, you know, in July because he's got a trip in August, and we would just have to say, man, there's several hundred reels in front of you. And we have 2 full-time reel mechanics and 2 part-time guys. That's 4 guys knocking out reels, and we were still struggling to keep up with a month of backlog. It's just, man, put them in right now. If you're thinking about it, cruise out to the garage, grab all your reels, kick it in free spool, make sure it's free spooling good. If the handle's a little stiff or it's not spinning the way you would, go down to your local shop and just put those things in for a tune-up. You'll be so glad you did come summertime.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Bob, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Take care, Bob.
Great text here. How often do sports boats have their bottoms cleaned? It's a good question. Since they're running almost every day, do they get the same kind of growth that private boats get? That's from George in Newport Beach.
They're moving all the time, so most of the time they don't get the same growth as a private boat sitting at the dock. On the other side of it is all the boats are required, not the long-range, but long-range boats are required to pull out every year. I haul my boat out every year. A lot of guys...
But you're not required.
Not required. Yeah. 2 years.
2 years.
Every 2 years.
Okay.
And in between, a lot of guys, you know, hire a diver, come down and scrub the boat, you know, scrub the bottom.
Okay, so you do have divers once in a while.
You know,
even though you're running every day, you can't...
Well, not during the summertime. If you're running, you're not growing.
You're just not worried about it.
You're not growing stuff.
The boat's always moving.
Yeah, and you have to watch your warm, you know, the water being warm and stuff. You still grow a lot of barnacles, a lot of the like that cucumber looking stuff in your hot water line, in your bait lines and stuff like that. You still got to clean those, but the bottom doesn't grow. It only grows when it's sitting.
Got it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot.
So what do you think about, you're the wizard when it comes to boat maintenance. What do you think of that prop speed stuff? Do you put
I use it.
Use it? Yeah?
I use it the last 4 haul outs, 5 outs, and the props look like the day we put them back in the water.
And you get better fuel economy.
I don't know about the fuel economy because I haven't judged it to that point.
Sure.
But just, you don't have none of the worm growth on the shafts. You don't have none of the worm growth on the props themselves. Wow. The props don't show any of the cavitation wear that you usually, without using it, you'll see a little pitting stuff on the end. Because all your thrust on your props and stuff is the last 2.5, 3 inches tops of the tip of the props. And that's where all the cavitation bubbles end up embedding in the bronze props. With that stuff, it's
worth paying $700 a gallon for
It's pricey, but it's worth it.
$700
something like that, isn't it?
It's not a gallon. You're paying $200 to $300 for a pint kit.
Pint kit.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh no, it's expensive.
Is it really that much?
Oh
my god.
It's pricey.
And you start talking about a prop that's the size of a coffee table, like that's you're spending some bucks.
Yeah.
We're using quart kits. I think we use 3 or 4 on the Royal.
Quart kits.
3 props, so the quart kits.
Yeah.
I use a quart kit for 2 props and shafts.
And that's about $800, right?
Yeah.
For a quart?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay then.
It's pricey.
Hey, like you say though, but I mean,
it's worth every penny.
Yeah, that's not cheap material that you're putting on either, and nor is the hassle of dealing with problems with it and everything else that goes along. You pay.
The props wear. I mean, they eventually wear. I mean, so you get them balanced and stuff, and they always have to build them up and stuff like that. The last 2 years, I haven't had to send mine in.
Interesting.
And I carry an extra set. I have an extra set.
Wow.
So
okay.
And I guarantee you that's not having that hassle and problem and time and money is well worth the several $100 that it is on the front.
As long as you don't
end.
hit nothing, you're good to go.
You're good to go.
Yeah,
Art Taylor said the same thing last Sunday. Yeah.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We got more of your phone calls, more text message, and a lot of more fun with Jim. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mightier 1090.
Your vacation bucket list can't be completed without visiting the Katmai Lodge, Alaska this summer. A world-class wilderness fishing paradise on the banks of the famed Alagnak River. Get in the action, fishing for all 5 species of Pacific salmon, king, sockeye, chum, coho, plus trophy-sized rainbow trout. Arctic grayling in Dolly Varden, both in the Alagnac and nearby waters. Katmai Lodge's Coast Guard and CPR certified guides are fly fishing fanatics and know how to help you reel them in, ensuring your days are fish-filled while you enjoy freshly prepared snacks and barbecued lunches on the river. Back at the lodge, enjoy fireside appetizers and refreshments each afternoon. Delicious dinner prepared by the lodge's exceptional chef. Take a quick fly-out trip to Brooks Falls in Katmai National Park for world-renowned bear watching. And check out our trout fishing specials at katmai.com. That's KATMAI.com. Katmai.com.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day trips on the Daily Double and full-day trips on the Mission Bell every day. Perfect for novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips on the American Angler, Vagabond, Intrepid, Independence, Loan, T-Bird, Game Changer, and more. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com where you can purchase tickets online. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find the location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more. One of the dream trips for most anglers is Alaska. There are so many lodges. How do you make a choice? It's easy. Choose the one most Let's Talk Hookup listeners return to time after time. Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, and the finest charter captains in Sitka. All for the ultimate value. One visit and you will understand why nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. Sitka is famous for some of the best runs of salmon in Alaska. And if giant Alaskan halibut is your target, the expert captains at Kingfisher Charters know the hot spots and can put you on a fish of a lifetime. Plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod are there too. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. It's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except tips. It is truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fun. If you want to get through on the phone, still time to do it. 213-432-1090, as well as sending your text in the Let's Talk Hookup app. Lots of time to read your text messages, get through on the phones. We're having a great time this morning.
Hey, our insurance man, Scott Sherman's on the line. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, good morning, guys. Another great show this morning.
Thanks.
Morning, Scott.
Had a question for your guest. Picked up one of the California flyers at Tackle Days, and we're just wondering what the best way to fish those is. It like fishing a yummy, or how do you troll it around? What speed? All that good stuff.
Just like fishing a yummy, except slower.
Like how fast?
Okay.
Like guys are getting bit, we're doing like 3 and 4 knots. You know, just slower.
Just walking it around.
The guys that got bit well, just trolling it slower.
Okay,
I mean, you could troll it fast. Alliar trolls that thing at 11 knots.
Come on.
Yes.
Really?
And he was getting bit.
Wow.
You know, but by you're trolling around 11 knots, you got a lot of line out.
Yeah.
A lot.
Okay.
But guys that are trolling out in 3 and 4 knots are not, you know, as much line.
How far back do you fish them?
No, not back. Out.
Out the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far out?
Football field, at least.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
You want that thing in nice, clean, smooth,
no wake
no
water.
Noise. Just get it away from you.
You want to troll something behind you. It's that other rig they were using.
The spreader.
The spreader.
Yeah.
That thing was working well. There's another thing that worked well this year.
Right.
For the little boats,
It's crazy, huh?
I mean, right next to the boat, even.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because some guys were like 2 football fields back.
I was sitting there looking at guys. I don't know what
Yeah.
are these guys doing? And then I see this thing. I mean, the wake's already gone, and you see this other one coming.
Yeah.
And it was the spreader bars. I was just like, what the heck?
Oh,
they're
yeah.
way back there.
Yeah.
We saw guys run into a foamer that was just somebody else's spreader bar. You know,
Yeah.
see a skiff, whoa, was hauling ass and get right up to like, oh, I don't want somebody's spreader bar.
Yeah.
Funny.
No.
Yeah, I hope that helps you out, Sherm. I have to. Hopefully next year, this coming year, we'll get some on that, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan. Right now, it's all about bottom fish, and it's been pretty good.
But what a great tool, though, for a boat like yours, Scott, in that, that thing fishes very similar to a dead one that doesn't require ice and doesn't require you ripping open a 3-pack of them. And, it's just something that, for a guy like you, it's something that you can have on the boat all the time, especially in the early season when maybe in your mind, you and your buds are going to go out and, cast lures at foamer fish or do whatever, and then you stumble across a big breezer or 200-pounders. You're going to have that thing in the boat ready to go that you can deploy and have a good lure that's got a good track record of catching big ones that you don't have to thaw out or do any rigging. It's just ready to go.
There you go.
And they give you extra sets of wings.
Right.
Yeah.
We broke off 3 wings when I tried to troll it fast.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But it was always on the same side.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know what the deal was, but I tried to troll it slower. We're fine.
Yeah.
Very good.
That was one of the reasons that was one of the reasons I got it. I just, you bring out your packs of dead flyers, you use 1 or 2, and then the other ones have been thawed out, and you have to refreeze them, and I just wonder about how those work. So I figured it was something else to put in the arsenal,
Totally.
We hang we get the flyers, we pin them all up, get them all ready, and put them in the fish hold.
Yeah.
I lift them right out.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot for the call, Scott. Nice to hear from you from Snap Insurance. Scott Sherman, always good to hear.
All right. Well, hey, we had another great text message. This one was from Ben in Chula Vista. Jim, can you give your best advice on how to make wind-on leaders? Do we do them on the boat while we're traveling down? If we buy pre-made ones, what's your preference, loop to loop? Any recommendations you can give me appreciated.
You can make them at home, if you know how long you want your wind on. We make a lot of them on the boat. If you're going on a long trip, then making them is, a lot of guys use a lot of glue and stuff. We use a glue and a crimp also. We've seen some fail on the pre-made ones. I always like making our own, because then if it fails, it's all on you. But if you're making them on the way down and you've got crew members there, can help you. I know on the Royal we make a lot of them. Like on this last trip, I think Daryl and the guys make almost every one of the wind-ons on the way down. If we don't have extras, and then when we have spare time on the Royal, we always make extra ones.
And you like that Sato crimp?
Yes,
Sato crimp and glue.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because there's lots of ways.
That thing works.
There's lots of quote-unquote different ways to do it.
Yeah.
But, man, the track record on that properly fitted Sato crimp,
Right.
crimped correctly, and some glue, you do that thing right, it doesn't fail.
I still see guys using a bimini, on one of the loops, on the Spectre end of it. That's what they prefer. That's what they feel comfortable with. That's not a problem. I've gone past that part now, but they crimp and the glue. You don't see it fail that often.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump back on the phone.
Sounds good to me, buddy. How about this time we talk to John, and John's calling us from Long Beach this morning. John, thanks for hanging in there with us. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Great show as usual. I wanted to ask Jim if they have a standby list for some of the charters. I know that occasionally somebody will drop out and the charter master might need somebody to fill a spot. Do you have something like that available?
Yes, we do. If you call me up, I'll put you on a standby list. And I had like 10, 12 people on it last year that I couldn't get them on a boat.
Really?
We couldn't. Well, because all the charters were full.
We're full, yeah.
So.
But it could happen.
Sure, absolutely.
And you have those 3 open party day and a halves that
Right.
if you call them at 619-203-2965, you could get on that list.
Correct.
Right now, right?
Yes.
Because those are wide open right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And then one in
All right.
August.
Thank
one
you.
in-
I wrote that number down.
Yeah. After the show, I make some calls because I think his phone's going to be blowing up. Yeah, for sure. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right. Well, hey, let's head back to the text. A great one here from John says, "Hey, Jim, I'd like to ask, can you describe the Cortez? Like how it was built and the layout, what kind of food you guys offer? I've always wanted to fish on the Cortez." That's from John in Huntington Beach.
All right.
It's a plywood over glass over plywood boat. It's called a cold molded. The sister ship is the Endeavor. Another sister ship is
Seaway?
Yeah.
Yeah, Seaway.
They're Seaways. They're built up there in Costa Mesa. The other sister ship is will be the Relentless.
Okay.
Okay. And then the two bigger ones are going to be the Aztec and the Pacifica. They're 5 foot bigger.
Okay.
But those are all Seaways. It's open.
You're in some good company.
Yeah, there's some open bunks on all of them. They're all open bunks. There's no staterooms. As far as food, we seat 12 or 13 people in the galley, 14 people. And we try to notch it up quite a bit, food-wise. They're usually set meals on all the charters, and it's up to what the charter wants, and I get it. We try to bring it into the long-range part of it where we have a hors d'oeuvre in the afternoon or the morning, and then, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Normal stuff, prime rib and steaks. Different meals. Try to vary it, especially.
Yeah, well, with your long range experience, I'm sure you do a lot of long range.
We try.
And such light loads too. 15 people, 18 people.
It makes
max.
it easier.
Oh,
yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. Hey, appreciate the text. Let's go ahead and jump back on the phone.
That sounds good. This time we're going to talk to John. John's calling us from Huntington Beach. Good morning, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Awesome show as always. And I had a question for Jim regarding how do you find fish? Is finding an Albacore school much different than finding Bluefin schools? Do you have any secrets you could share with us?
No, not really. I mean, what we do is, we're looking at all our water charts, see what we got. A lot of we got this ocean view. We got the terrafin charts. We got our weather charts. And we're looking where any kind of big hard breaks to look at. That's a good area to start. Look at our current charts, see which way currents are going and so forth. Most of the time, somebody's going to be on some fish. I'm usually west of everybody or away from everybody. So we always there's somebody out there looking around all the time. And guys get on fish, and it doesn't take long. There's basically a bunch of code groups, but with the dispatch area, everybody knows what everybody's doing for the most part. Or at some point, they will. But water temperature, it's a big thing. Weather-wise is a big thing. See which way, you can look at it for 3 or 4 days and see which way everything's moving. That's our basic form. As far as looking for albacore, is no different than looking for bluefin. It's a lot of sonar fish, a lot of up and down fish. Again, it's just finding a hard break. Hard break. Albacore really, really like hard breaks. They'll be on one side or the other.
Okay.
Either the cold or the hot side.
Yeah, you just got to find what side it is.
And there's not necessarily a rhyme or reason. They're not always on the cold side. They're not always on the warm side.
Nope. I've gone across. Me and Sean, when he had the Legend, we went out to the west, and everybody else was down in the south fishing at Yellowtail and stuff. We went out west, just down below the Cortez and outside of it a little bit, and we hit a 1.5 degree edge. Whew. I turned to the north, he turned to the south. Neither one of us went 100 yards. We had 200-300 fish stops.
Wow.
They're on both sides, but they were on that edge.
They were on that edge. They wanted to be tied up against it, and it was as good as it gets.
Interesting. Wow.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Good text from Hannah of Long Beach. She says Happy New Year, and she also wants to say congratulations to Rick and Dallas, too, but wants to know, what is your fishing prediction for this year?
I think we're going to have the same kind of bluefin fishing. All the bluefin is still the same. I would hope that yellowfin shows up in the fall a little bit better than it did this year.
Yeah.
This year was horrible, all in all, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
And
it was colder water, right?
Yeah. I mean, what's kept us tight to this bluefin thing is just the way it's moved. It from down there on the Ranger Bank all the way up, coming up to towards Colonette, and then up towards San Jose, going across the local lower banks, and then shooting out, across underneath the islands, and then back out to San Clemente Island and the banks there. and it's kept the whole fleet sort of tied in. We haven't got to the outside, out past that dumping ground, out past that bicycle bank down there and stuff.
Yeah.
But a couple guys went here and there, but you get one guy looking down there, he could miss it by 50 yards.
Right.
You get a couple guys looking around. It's not to say, I think the XL caught an albacore this year,
So it could happen.
It could happen. Maybe our cycle's always been July 4th on.
Right.
That's what we've always gone by, years and years and years.
Bill Poole said, fire the fireworks, go catch albacore.
That's right. It might be earlier now.
Yeah.
It just the cycle might be earlier.
Sure.
I mean,
well, look at this bluefin, man.
Well,
Starts March, April, right?
Yeah, they were catching albacore up here in June, up in Oregon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did we miss it? Because they never used to catch it up there until August, September. Start moving it up.
So what I want to know is, Jim, you don't start your season till June.
Correct.
April, May last year was great fishing for
Absolutely.
bluefin. But you're doing other stuff.
I'm going to be tied up in Oregon first.
He's the reason the Royal Polaris run so smooth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He'll be applying prop speed.
Yeah.
So we're going to go up there. We're going to take the RP up there and do some boat work up there this year.
Yeah. That's like a month-long process, right?
Yeah. It's going to be. We're going to take it up to a commercial yard. They used to doing all that welding. Plus, they'll work 24 hours.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. You gonna drag an albacore feather up there?
We're going to be dragging some. We're going to drag some deer up there because Frank got us a house by a river or something like that. So we're all stoked about that.
Oh, how cool!
Cool.
That'll be fun.
Right. A little steelhead, maybe.
No, I don't know. I don't know nothing about this, but we're going to find out.
That's cool.
All
man.
right. Very good. Well, let's go ahead and jump back into it, Rick.
You got it. Well, I had a great text come through. Said, I'd really appreciate hearing Jim's thoughts on what you consider the best technique or method for flat fall or knife jig type fishing. That's from Cheer, our good buddy Cheer Critchlow.
The best is when you get on a spot of fish. I always try to get a little bit upswell or stop right on it and try to get everybody to drop the same time. And you want to try to get down to that water column as fast as you can. And I tell them, hey, this stuff's at 240 feet. It's 300 feet, whatever. And if you think you're down there 240 feet, 300 feet, you need to go farther.
Yeah.
Because you're not.
You're not.
Just a boat moving with a swell of the current and stuff like that. If your line's got any kind of angle on it, you need to go farther. And then once you feel like you're in that, I always have that boat from my cat head to the corner is exactly 60 feet. So I tell them to mark the line. Mm-hmm. Mark it once for 60. Go it all the way back. Mark it twice. 120. Mark it at least at 240. Even if you want to go 5 times, that's fine. But mark it, because that's going to give you an idea at least where you're at.
Yeah.
And once you get into that water column, you can wind slow, wind it up 10 or 15 crank, drop it. Wind it up 20 crank, drop it. Wind it up 25 crank, drop it. Wind fast, you can wind slow. Some guys get wind a little bit steady. Other guys wind fast and they drop it again. Wind fast again. And you're going to have to do that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. If you got one of those glow-in-the-dark flat falls or knife jigs and stuff like that, guys that really, really want to get on that, get it lit up, the fluorescence. Then fish
Does
can
that
see
make
it.
a difference?
I haven't seen it make a difference, but it works for some guys.
Some guys, yeah.
It doesn't
it's
not
your turn.
work.
It doesn't not work. Yeah.
If you think it works, then do it.
The one thing I remember seeing, at least on the tackle store side of things, is, gear, we all know gear was hard to get this year, period.
Mm-hmm.
It was difficult to get. So at the beginning of the year, all you sold was every, knife jig or big flat fall that was glow in the dark, zebra glow, red zebra glow. Mm-hmm. Well, then those ran out, and they were gone, they were gone right away. And all we had was, the different colored painted. Yeah, exactly.
And then that became the hot jig.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the
it's
one.
It's kind of like Tony Tiger Rappalas or
Marauders.
Or
Totally.
Marauders. Yeah, same kind of thing. Whatever's got on there, that's going to get bid.
When alls that was available was a green and silver one, you would,
it got bit.
We would get a shipment of green and silver ones, and the guys in the Queen and the guys in the Condor and the guys whatever, they all,
we gotta have that one.
We're all going on a day and a half trip, and that was it. Like there was times when you'd open the box like, this is all we got, and they would all go out that night. Well, for the next several days, guys were coming back, I need that green and silver, that thing's the hottest, man. Like, hey, everybody was fishing one of those got bit.
Well, let's try and sneak in one more call.
I like it, man. You got it. How about this one? We talked to Sean. He's calling from Lomita this morning. What's up, Sean? Welcome to the show.
Hey, congratulations. A little bit premature for you guys, but looking forward to hearing how it all goes for you in Dallas, Rick. Jim, no worries. I always have had success when people are sitting down for dinner to going out on the rail and dropping an iron down for some bluefin. What is it about bluefin and big eye that makes them come up and bite right when it gets dark?
No, it's right when it's dinner time or lunchtime.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when they bite. I can't tell you how many times the guys are getting ready to sit down for dinner, and it's good drifting weather and be one guy out there, and then they start biting.
And the galley clears out.
A lot of dinners missed under your watch?
A lot. And a lot of cold dinners went out, trying to keep them warm. Also making the cook very happy.
I bet. Yeah. Nothing probably makes a chef happy than working his butt off, and then right when it comes time to serving time, like, everybody's out.
And then he said, I'm not going to have dinner. Because, summer, you're not, you're fishing all daylight hours till 8 o'clock. I just had to say, okay, we're eating at 7.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
That way we have nighttime, we're all ready.
Right.
You don't go all day just looking at fish. You don't get a bite. Okay. You guys go in. You got half an hour. That's don't make a 3-course meal out of this thing.
Yeah.
Get down there and somebody will. I got one, and this is it. Okay, you can't. It's
what do you do?
You
go
you're
fishing.
That's it. You're fishing.
Sometimes you got to eat beef jerky.
It's as far as the nighttime and stuff. They're night feeders. Big eye. Bluefin,
Yellowfin too, right?
Yellowfin.
How many
too.
times were you down to RP down the lower banks there, and you got this crazy night bite, right?
The only thing I haven't seen bite really, really good bite at night is albacore. Now I've seen albacore go from twilight and bite into the dark, well into the dark, but not finding a bite in the dark.
Like sit.
Yeah. Now you can get a gray bite.
Yeah, have them sit underneath. They're underneath you in the dark, and as soon as it starts to crack, catch one.
Then start getting with it.
Yellowtail bite in the dark, right?
Yes, very well.
Okay, so it's interesting.
That's cool. Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out what lucky guy or gal's going fishing on the Cortez, and we're going to find out if it's going to a text or a caller. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090.
Are you passionate about fishing and the great outdoors, but not quite sure where to go? Look no further than Queen Charlotte Safaris in pristine British Columbia, Canada. Hello, this is Valerie Hoprich. There's so many reasons to join us on your next fishing adventure. A few of the highlights are fishing in protected, calm waters. Very important. Quality Chinook salmon run all season long, no downtime. This is migrating salmon going through our fishing grounds. After you've caught your salmon, we're going to go out for the great Pacific halibut, lingcod, rockfish, and Dungeness crab. Our beautiful lodge overlooks Shingle Bay and Sandspit, and it's so easy to get to. Fly from almost any airport into Vancouver and then on to Sandspit. Our trips are 5 days, 4 nights. Custom fish processing, your fishing license, your gear, all included. Just bring that fishing arm and that smile. Let our chef pamper you with amazing meals while our staff gives you wonderful hospitality, all included in your Queen Charlotte Safaris package. We are booking for 2022 now, and the trips are filling up quickly. So give me a call on our toll-free number, 1-877-815-2892, or go to our website, qcsafaris.com.
Great fishing is what Seaforth Sports Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, Elgato Doe, Pride, Polaris Supreme, Tribute, Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen, for fishermen in Mission Bay.
It's time for the Power Pro 30-second seminar. I like catching big fish, and I like smaller reels too. How do I make sure that I have the capacity to land the big one? I fill my reels with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro, so you get more line on that small reel. Power Pro has a complete series of highly effective lines, including the brand new Power Pro Depth Hunter Offshore, with different colors every 100 feet. Perfect for flatfall fishing. Want to learn more? Check PowerPro.com. When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. So we have identified the winner of what will be a texter or a caller.
Right.
Those two are set aside, and that's going to come down to the coin toss from Jim, who's going to flip right now.
All right, Jim.
Winner
flip
being
it up.
A texter.
All right, it's the big T, and that is Howie.
Howie.
He picked number 7, and that's Howie. Congratulations, Howie. You are going on
how
the
cool.
Cortez, and you and a
And your
friend,
bud, yeah,
and your friend,
exactly.
yeah. So, Jim, again, thank you
So cool,
so much for the generous offer. And again, if somebody wants to go on the Cortez in 2022, there are 3 opportunities right now for open party trips: August 11 through 17, September 14 through 16, and November 14 through 16, all prime time dates. But there's only way you're going to get on is if you call Jim after the show here.
You call me directly, 619-203.
Leave a message if you don't answer.
2965, correct. You can leave a message. And if they don't fill up by probably the 1st of June, they'll be on the C-Force website.
By
also.
1st of June. Okay,
Yeah.
again, 619-203-2965. And Howie, you're going to have to call and get on one of those too. So, and again, if somebody wants to ride the Cortez, charter the Cortez, call you.
Yes. Also,
Yeah.
you can give us a call.
Yeah.
Or you can call the landing. The guys usually say, hey, get a hold of this guy.
Still time to get a charter date for next year?
It's running out.
Okay.
It's running
You're thinking about it. You better do it right now.
Yeah. I think I think those are the only day and a half that I had open, and I had 2 more available spots for 2.5 and 3.5 days.
All right. Okay. So call C4 Sport Fishing or call Jim.
You can call C4 at 619-224-3383. Talk to any of the guys in the office. They're all great.
All right. Great, Jim.
You can give me a call personally.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Again, 619-203-2965. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. And good luck on your big adventures. I'm sure we'll hear from it. And thank you for listening today. Tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m., Valerie Hoprett from Queen Charlotte Safari. Going to be talking a little Alaska, Canada fishing tomorrow with Valerie, lovely lady. Thanks to Christian for manning the phones and the board. And, of course, thanks to Adam for all he does on the Let's Talk Hookup app. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m., right back here on the Mightier 1090 and the Let's Talk Hookup app.